ask it now. Elephant money, the future is now.
Welcome, everybody. Herdcast, May 27th, 2023. I am thrilled to have our guest, Alexander Rijksen, with us. We're just looking forward to hanging out with you. Feel free to jump in on the chat on YouTube, make comments, ask us questions as we get going. Alex, so good to meet you here. Welcome in.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful for your invite on to this show. So first of all, thank you very much personally. And I am delighted to be sharing our shared knowledge on this subject. So
well, that's fantastic. I just got introduced to your channel by mutual friend Jed, just a wonderful member of the Herd community. Everything that he does is so valuable, and he's just a wonderful person. So he made sure that we saw that you're getting ready to put out Elephant Money content, and I really enjoyed right off the bat what you put out there. So I'm looking forward to finding out what's your background. What did first question, what is your background in life and your education? Because I just find out that you just turned 21. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, it was my birthday this week. I also have a twin brother called Ryan, who I also have got him into the Elephant Money ecosystem. But for the rest, I am half Dutch and also half English. I'm currently living in England, but I have spent about 10 years in each country. They're both amazing places, and I am, very excited to get to know people. And in the crypto space, I've made a lot of amazing friends. As you just said, Jed are both our friends. We've met through doing this and through crypto. And I wasn't sure at the start whether to start up this YouTube, but I've had nothing but love and positivity come from it. And I am very happy I've done so. And I will keep sharing my knowledge and creating content in this subject in order, to help others and whatnot. I also have, been doing judo professionally for, throughout most of my entire life. I started that in Holland, carried it on over when I moved to England, and still doing that full time pretty much now. I have my education as well. I got my GCSEs and my A levels. They do here in England. And since then, I've just been doing judo, the crypto. I do a little bit of Forex trading, and I work, part-time, a couple nights in the week just to get by and to invest more into this platform, because I feel, there's no other better place to put your money. So why not make money on your money?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty fascinating. To tell you a little bit about myself and part of why I got pretty excited when I saw your channel, saw how young you were. I'm 54, and I took the traditional route. I don't know if it's traditional in Europe, but in the States, a lot of us are told by our parents, get good grades and then get that job. And that worked out. That was great advice for my parents, because where they came, my dad was brought up by two parents who'd never made it past sixth grade, and so he became a PhD and became a college professor, and he loved his job. And so his advice to me and my brother, for him, that made a lot of sense. We lived a very comfortable lifestyle. The problem for me was for one, the career I ended up kind of floundering into, I didn't like what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't making much money. And so then I jumped into a different career, which was in some ways worse because it's sales, it's commissions. And so there's no steady income tied to that.
Yeah.
And so in the meantime, my wife and I have been professional musicians for 30 years, and we make some money, but it's not career money, in the market where we live. So during this whole time, I've been trying to learn about finances and investing. I came from a family that didn't do any of that. So the first career that I was in school counseling. And one thing I noticed is that what school does not teach finance. So to meet somebody your age who's into finance gets me pretty excited. What got you interested in finance and decentralized finance?
Okay, yeah, well, for sure, I completely agree with you that, I believe that the education system is outdated and it does work for a lot of people. But even if, the traditional route of going to university or to college in America, which both my brother and my sister are at university right now, but I believe that there's better opportunities out there, and that's not the only way to make a steady, passive, reliable income. I have been trying to, I've always been very entrepreneurial and have always, wanted to find a different route rather than the traditional, because I've never felt it really worked for me. So I am on that quest as we speak and have been, ever since I left school. I believe that the elephant money ecosystem, and elephant in particular, will, majorly excel that process and will help me do that. How I got into elephant was actually through one of the admins called CryptoX, one of my dad's friends. So he has been, he's taught me a lot. And even at the start, just as any, new crypto member or anyone that doesn't have much knowledge in decentralized finance, as I didn't back in 2020, was when I first was introduced into the Flow ecosystem. Okay, BT's a past project, and that fascinated me. Although I didn't really understand how it worked, I devoted my time into learning and seeing if, this was a great opportunity, because DeFi hasn't been around for that long in the scheme of things. And, as I carried on learning about it, learning the risks, learning the positives, what to do and what not to do, it sort of blew my mind every step of the way on how this is possible, and, the different opportunities that are out there. So, over the last 2 years, I've just been doing research into DeFi, into crypto, and I have, still yet found nothing comparable to any of BT's work. So it is remarkable, and I'm extremely grateful that I did get introduced first-handedly into into this amazing DeFi projects, because I've previously just bought, just the same old top 10 coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, that sort of thing in 2019. I made some money, and then the crash happened, and then I lost it all. That's how it goes in crypto. But this, it gives you a complete different opportunity. And as I got to understand the protocol, I learned how, everything worked. Then it sort of reinforced me that, I don't see there's a way where this doesn't sort of work out. And to me, it is inevitable. But I mean, everyone's got their own views. I see this working out exactly as it's intended to, and the statistics show exactly that's what's going to happen. It's got statistical proof that, everything's working out just as planned, which is, the important part, and it's got everything back in it, all the stats, all the figures that show that this is the real deal.
Yeah.
When I first started also in DeFi was just to play around a little bit with $100 in the Flow ecosystem, and without devoting much time into it, I was still able to make money. So that sort of fascinated me with the passive income streams of things. So I think this should be also part of anybody's investment portfolio, even if you've got time. If you don't have time, this is designed and made for absolutely anybody. There's different products that fit anybody in the entire market, which is absolutely brilliant.
Right. And having done this, dabbled in DeFi since 2020, I'm sure you've gotten enough of a perspective to see how elephant money is not one of those kind of ecosystems where it's get in and get out as fast as you can. Hope you're one of the first ones to get in within the first 2 weeks, so you can get out with some profits before it's done, right? We're seeing how elephant money is so the opposite of that in so many ways, right?
Yeah, for sure. And as I mentioned, I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, that sort of thing, and I did make the profits, but I made the mistake of not cashing out on those profits, and then I learned the hard way of getting wrecked in those sort of environments. But I feel completely safe and comfortable. I sleep happy at night knowing I'm in this ecosystem, because it is built differently. It's not like the rest where you have to worry about any of that stuff, and I don't have any worries about that. I am diamond handing and riding it straight to the top. I'm not selling for years, or it's reliable. And I am excited for what the future is to come, since we are still on the ground floor.
Yes.
And the ground floor is pushing up day by day.
Right. And as we're telling friends and family about it, or let me focus on this outside of not outside of friends and family, but actually let me shift real quick to when we tell other people who have been in crypto about elephant money. It's such a paradigm shift. Have you noticed that when you start telling people about it, they put the glasses on, and then they're looking at it through what they've already been through. Oh, I've already been wrecked. How could this be different? It's hard to explain to them how different this is, because just like what you said, you do some Forex trading, you're dealing with the fact that people are, they're doing shorts, they're doing, there's all sorts of people who are day trading, swing trading. So there's it's speculative. And so that's why the prices of things are, one day it's up, one day it's down, and it's all over the place. It's very difficult to know how to read the trends, read the charts. There are 100 different ways you can read the charts. Well, let's put a Fibonacci on this. Let's put the Bollinger Band on this. Let's draw an ascending triangle, a teacup, all of these things. And so then to try to explain to somebody elephant money, it's not that. It is actually a community bank. This is a totally different reality. What have you find when you're talking to people?
First of all, apart from my family members, which I got them into elephant just a month or two after I did, which was just before the last parabolic run up. Okay, I am unhappy that I didn't find out about this earlier, but we are where we are, and we are still extremely early. But most of my friends and those sort of people that I try to get into crypto, they don't have any sort of knowledge about crypto. They just see Bitcoin, and then that's about it. They just dive with the trend, which mostly is what you shouldn't do.
Right.
dive with the trend, because when it's all hyped up, as Bitcoin was at $60,000, there's a lot of people selling at those prices. But
Yeah.
the beauty of elephant money is because we're on decentralized exchanges, we don't have any of those shorts or those sellers, as you mentioned, with the Forex. So that isn't possible with decentralized finance. And because of the taxes, is not a bad thing for the ecosystem. But I feel that most people, even if they do have, some DeFi knowledge or have past experience in DeFi, they find it an extreme hard time to believe that this sort of works out so perfectly. And without knowing how the ecosystem works, which can be quite complicated to those that don't have much knowledge, then they find it an extremely hard time to believe. And a lot of people that I speak to either just don't want to hear about it, or they feel that it's too good to be true. But this really is the new sort of technology that's emerged, the world's first decentralized community run bank. There's also a lot of friends that they sort of want to, and I have brought a lot of friends into it. I've got currently 17 members on my team, and most of them are just, a couple hundred. I've told them, because they know that I have financial knowledge and they don't really know anyone else with any sort of financial knowledge. Most people just go down the path that's set out for them with school and whatnot, and they don't get taught any of this in school.
Yes.
So a lot of people have just trusted me with my knowledge, even though they don't really completely understand what's going on. But most of them have just, in their eyes, gambled 100, $200 into the elephant token. And, there's a few with nice Stampede accounts. So, I believe, we're all going to make it. And it is a hard time getting friends and family and people that I know into crypto, even though I try to explain it to them, the day after they've forgotten about it and whatnot. So, and every time I've tried to explain it, I've been doing it one-on-one. So that is the reason I've sort of started my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested, I say, hey, go look up my videos. That explains everything, explains the whole ecosystem. Do your own research and, don't sleep on this opportunity, basically. So that's the reason of my starting of the YouTube channel, in order to, one, help the broader community, and for, friends and family that ask me how it works, they don't really understand. I can just say, instead of doing it one-to-one with each person, spending hours and hours, I can just say, look at my videos. This explains it for the most part.
Well, that's great. That's very valuable, not just for your circle, but for everybody else who's going to see your channel. SK Crypto K calls the team of volunteers and people who are putting it out, he says we're like the Avengers, And the way I see it is, each of us has a different style, a different way we explain it. And so different people are going to they're going to connect with something of some of us, and then as we help each other put out the word, it'll just continue to grow. And what's wonderful is that it's growing naturally. It's growing with reality. It's not
organically
just a bunch of hype and excitement. It's growing based on really well thought out principles, and then really well thought out way to explain it, which is the way you've done your videos. I love how you really script things out.
Thank you.
And how you lay out, in a way, it's laying out a case for this. And to me, that's, again, it's a personality thing. I love how Elephant Money Herd, he's into the mathematics, so he'll get into the what he calls the ninja. He's going to do a video where he's like, it's going to be some ninja math on this,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love how you are, you have your angle where you start all the way from the beginning, from the, the developer. This is his background. Now let's go to this next point. Now let's make this point. Really well done on that, in that regard, and good that you've got the YouTube channel, because everybody you're talking to can go straight to that, which makes sense.
Well, thank you very much. And yeah, as I said, most of the people that I try to speak to, they don't have any knowledge about crypto at all, especially not in DeFi. So what I've done is try to start from the beginning, the basics. When I watch my videos back, they're still slightly complicated, but it gives a general knowledge of the market before diving into the elephant money and the ecosystem. Of course, you would want to know who's running the project and, if they have any malicious intent, which I know BT does not. And yeah, I really didn't have any expectations when I first started my channel, but I have been extremely overwhelmed with all the positivity in the chat, in the community. And yeah, I really appreciate, everyone showing some love and spreading the word. And it's been great, as I really didn't have any expectations. It's gone, a lot better than I ever thought it could.
Yeah. One of the struggles that I had early on was learning the different elements of DeFi and understanding what I was trying to learn. Because I do like studying things, and I like learning, and it was very difficult. So I want to give you, again, I give you kudos on the fact that you're wanting to teach people like the very foundations of why something would work, explaining what liquidity means, why that is so important in a project. A lot of the times when I would watch videos, I would hear these terms, but I wouldn't understand the point.
That's the exact reason. Yeah.
So well done on that as well, because I think it's still really important, really needed.
Yeah. Because knowledge of those sort of things, you can hear liquidity and whatnot, but without knowing what it means, you won't understand why this protocol is so effective and why it's going to work and why it has been working. So a lot of people just hear liquidity, but without knowing what liquidity is, that doesn't mean anything to you. So that's the reason for sort of the background videos, to help you gain, a whole understanding rather than just all these crypto terms, because a lot of, not just in DeFi, but in the whole crypto, they have these terms which a lot of people aren't familiar with, and without breaking them down, a lot of people aren't going to understand really what's going on. So
that's a big part of why I wanted to start my YouTube channel, having been raised by two teachers and then spending a lot of my adult career teaching, being in school as a counselor. I also did classes. I taught classes as well. I love the process. I love trying to be able to take information and make it something accessible for those trying to learn the information. It's kind of an art in and of itself, but it's also very rewarding to know that people are gaining something valuable in their life from what you're passing on to them.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, myself, I haven't really had any experience in trying to teach people, but I feel that this is the most effective way, since it can reach, the YouTube channel. Everyone's got YouTube. It can reach out everyone, and I can send, people close to me the direct links. And, as I said, I didn't have any experience, but it's been a great process. It's been a great experience so far. So and who doesn't love, helping other people out? Why not spread the love, and why not, educate people along the way? It's a win-win, really. So
totally. And life naturally prepares us for things in the future. And so I would submit this. I think that your work in judo, all of those hours that you've spent, has prepared you to understand how to teach. Because doing a discipline such as that, you've had to start at the very basics, and you've learned from your teachers how they started you at the lowest level so that you could grow, and it all had to be built. And so that taught you internally what teaching is all about, because you've gone through that process of having to learn something very detailed, very disciplined, and then keep repeating it. You understand that it requires a lot of repetition.
The discipline aspect of it is definitely extremely important in all sports. And I have been able to teach the younger kids on how to do a technique properly or more effectively, and that I feel like judo has helped me in all sorts of different aspects in life, since all of the skills I've learned I'm able to apply in different areas. And it's been greatly helped me. And as you said, it's everything prepares you in life. And we are now here today educating about the crypto space. So
which I think is just going to continue to be very, very valuable for people all around the world. I mean, one thing that's exciting to me is I'm on the west coast of the US, you're in the UK, here we are chatting, and people from all around. Decentralized finance brings people from all over the world together in an incredible way, and that's exciting. When I grew up, I used to read. My mom took me to the library every week, and I used to almost exclusively get Tintin books. And Tintin was always traveling, so I wanted to be a world traveler. And I took French, all growing up. And one of my French teacher in junior high was from Switzerland. She wanted us to learn all of Europe and all of the languages everybody spoke in Europe. And so I kept a map of Europe on my wall. And, that was part of how we had to learn French, but it made me want to keep traveling the world. And I would have been an exchange student, but my mom was too scared to let me do something like that. So I had the blessing of having a very good friend who was an exchange student from Norway, a couple of years in high school. So he and I spent many, many hours together skiing and played in the orchestra together. So I think that prepared me for enjoying the international world of decentralized finance.
Yeah, for sure. It's great just experiencing different cultures and experiencing different countries. It does teach you a lot about life in general, and decentralized finance, sort of knits all of the communities together. It's worldwide, which is perfect. And, it's great to hear communities from all around the world interested in the same thing.
Yeah. And a big part of it for me also is there are people who are developers who want folks from underdeveloped countries, countries that have some very corrupt leadership situations, to be able to have access to money that they've never had a chance. And that's pretty encouraging and exciting as well. So, hey, let's get to some comments. Here's a comment from when we were talking about sharing this with people. Darth Knight, hey, good to see you here. It's a hard sell, but we soldier on. I started sending mates a few elephant tokens to entice them. That's a good idea.
That's good.
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. And thanks, Lynn, for commenting. Great Herdcast. Appreciate that. And we've got some questions popping up here. So let's make a shift. All right. This is my wife, Shelly. She's checking this out. Um, she's wanting to learn as much as possible. And so is her parents and her brother they are
Fantastic.
on board too. So can you recap what liquidity is as briefly as you can?
Okay, so basically, liquidity in decentralized finance is made up of two pools, essentially, both two tokens in a pool. And together, they make a liquidity pool. And both tokens are balanced equally 50-50. So it doesn't matter what the tokens are. You can have a range of different tokens, stable coins. They can both be stable coins, or they can both be, have fluctuations in price, such as BNB or Bitcoin. And now, the larger the liquidity there is, the easier it is to move your funds in and out through the liquidity pool. And if the liquidity drains, then that means there's no way of you able to transfer in those tokens back into the other asset. And the great thing about Elephant Money, it has the biggest on-chain in the Binance Smart Chain protocol liquidity in the world. So there is very little risk in that aspect, since it's got the most liquidity out of any project ever, which is extremely hard to replicate. You can't fake that, basically. And as you interact with the liquidity pool, the 50-50 ratio will shift as you're putting one token in and taking one token out. So the price will change. And decentralized exchanges such as PancakeSwap is what the Elephant Money liquidity is on. It moves in an exponential fashion. So as the more tokens are pulled out on one side, let's use the Elephant BNB liquidity pool, for example. So as you take out Elephant in the liquidity pool, the value of those BNB in the liquidity pool rises exponentially, as you can see, on this graph here. It's an exponential increase due to the nature of the decentralized liquidity pools. And there's virtually no risk, since we have massive amounts of liquidity. And the beauty of this protocol is that liquidity is always growing. Okay, that's a massive aspect within the system, that liquidity needs to be growing in order for long-term sustainability and long-term safety of the project. And the Elephant Money protocol has, nailed this perfectly, in the way that liquidity is always growing due to two
That's
reasons. Yeah, sorry.
that. Oh no, it's great. So what's so important for us to understand is that the assets far outweigh the liabilities.
Yeah.
And what people have gotten into with decentralized finance and with some of these DeFi protocols that have attracted so many people is that the protocols get people excited. They put their money in, and so then what they've done is they promise these high returns. And so then over time, people have collected a lot of high returns that the protocol has to then pay out. The protocol starts paying it out at such a high rate that the money they have pooled drains so quickly that it causes the protocol to crash, because they just haven't done the long-term mathematics.
Yeah.
What we have with Elephant Money is that there are multiple points at play all at the same time that are causing the liquidity to grow always more quickly than the payouts, including holding the token, which is different than even holding a blue chip asset. Because even holding the token through the taxes of buys and sells, 5% of those go back to the token holders in reflections, so that you can look at your amount of tokens from week to week and see that you're actually getting a few more of elephant tokens simply for holding it. That's just one element. I mean, I know, Alex, you and I are both sitting here going, wow, we could explain more ways that the liquidity is growing, but we're just trying to keep it simple. But liquidity is key in traditional banking. This is why banks have failed, because they don't keep enough of people's money. People put in their savings, but then the banks then send that savings out to try to make more money. They buy government bonds. But then what's happened recently is the US has raised the interest rates so that the bonds aren't worth the buybacks. They weren't worth as much. And so then that's why we've seen some of these banks fail when people wanted to get their money out, because they didn't have the money.
They run out of liquid cash.
Right. Because they've sent it out trying to make more money, and then what they purchased is actually worth less than what they, it's just messed up.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining it as well as, really brilliant, experienced people explain it, but basically they just don't have the cash on hand to give people the money that they should expect to have. So,
yeah, for sure. And that's why a lot of these bank runs are possible. And you see, over the recent years, a lot of banks have gone into debt or they gone bankrupt. It's because they have no liquid assets and there's no sort of laws around that, or the laws are very, cheaply made.
They're very loose.
A lot of these big banks are going bankrupt, and a lot of people find that having money in your bank is a very safe place to have it, but actually it turns out it's not as safe as people might assume.
Right. My in-laws are Canadians. The majority of their friends are in Canada, and the majority of their family is in Canada. And on my mother-in-law's side, one of her nieces and husband, their bank just collapsed. Their retirement is gone.
Wow.
Just in a heartbeat. The bank just told them, oh, we're done. And this isn't something that we really saw in the news. We only found out from them. But here in the US, we tend to center only on United States news. But that happened in Canada recently. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just outrageous.
It is. That is just unbelievable. All of those years. Can you imagine all those years of working, and then your bank just says, sorry.
Yeah.
We blew it. Wow. Okay. Hey, MG40, thanks for jumping in here. Can you please try to explain how Bertha generates revenue? And what I'm going to do is pop on your next question, because that's it ties into that first question. Protocol has been around for a very long time, but I still don't understand how Elephant Money is generating returns for its customers. I'm in futures now, making 0.5% per day somehow. It does seem mysterious, and it's like, wow, how? You want to jump in and answer that?
Okay, yeah. Even with Bertha paying out everyone the 0.5 per day, it is still growing. So it's paying everyone out, and its liquid assets is still increasing day by day, which is the beautiful thing, since it rises in an exponential fashion and the depths only rise in a linear fashion. So Bertha always outpaces the asset outpaces the debt liabilities. So that is how you are able to pay out such interests, which is ridiculously higher than any bank in the world is paying out. So that's a beautiful thing. It's built for long-term sustainability. which is the most important factors. So there's lots of other projects offering high yields, as you mentioned, a lot higher than 0.5% per day. But when those funds run out, that's it, you're stuck. But the beauty of this, it is built for long-term sustainability. Everything within the project is built for the long-term vision.
You're right.
And how Bertha grows is, as the taxes you mentioned, it gains those reflections. As other people buy and sell elephant, it grows from those taxes, since 5% of the tax, half of the tax, 5% of whatever you buy and sell goes to all of the existing holders, which includes the Bertha, the elephant treasury, and it also grows from other things within the protocol, such as futures. When people deposit money in futures, 90% of it goes to buy elephant for the elephant treasury. The other 10% is held in the BUSD buffer pool. If you just show the yield tab to the right of the overview.
Over here.
So you can see
which one.
Treasury.
Sorry, tell me which one to click.
Up.
Oh, over here?
No.
No.
You see the overview tab.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yield. So as you can see here, 10% of the money deposited in futures is sent to the BUSD buffer pool. And when you claim or take out your money from futures, first of all, it will come out of the BUSD buffer pool, which gives the elephant treasury a buffer. And 90% of the funds is sent to the BUSD treasury, of which the BUSD treasury, it does at a rate of 50% per day currently. It goes to buy elephant for the elephant treasury. So 90% of the money that you put into futures goes to buy elephant, which puts 24/7 buy pressure on the elephant token. Now, as you can see, the BUSD buffer pool vastly outpaces the daily liabilities. So currently it's got around 10 times that much. And when the BUSD buffer pool is drained, then the elephant treasury or Bertha will pay out your yield. So it's got over $21 million in value currently, the elephant treasury, and it's growing every day. Okay, it's locking up the tokens, it's locking up the supply of elephant, causing an exponential price increase as the tokens become more rare and more rare. It's currently growing at a rate of about 1.5 to 2.5 trillion a week. Its average is 2 trillion. So it's vastly just growing and growing and growing. Another reason for the BUSD buffer pool is so it gives room for the elephant treasury just to keep growing and keep growing before, the daily liabilities ever get any sort of problem. It's outpaced that since the elephant treasury grows exponential and the liabilities grow linearly. Now, the beauty of futures is that it differentiates from any other project that offer high yield, which makes it a lot more sustainable. And how it does this is by you have to, in order to compound, you have to deposit at least 200 BUSD, which means there's a constant inflow of money into the treasury. There's constantly people wanting to compound, and in order to do that, you have to deposit $200 at a minimum, which grows the elephant treasury. So as more participants get in, there's more people compounding, there's more people just growing and growing the elephant treasury. So it's not like any other project which you can just hyper compound to infinity and then claim all your rewards. It's more like a bank, since it is a decentralized bank. It requires, a constant money flow, which is beautiful, and it is super sustainable, since when you claim, your balance goes down by the claimed amount. So everything in this protocol is built for long-term sustainability. It's also got rates that help the protocol. So if you've compounded more than 50,000 on top of what you put in, then there's, you get 5% less than what you normally would, in order, for the elephant treasury not to have this massive debt on its hands, in order so it can just keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. So as long as the elephant treasury keeps growing, everything in the system is going to work out. And that's the beauty of it. The statistics, it shows how consistently it has been growing. So, as of right now, it's working out perfectly how it's intended to. And
Right.
the math behind it, it just makes sense. It just is built for long-term sustainability, which I haven't found anything else like it. Everything is just sort of built for a quick return, quick money, but elephant money is more like a savings account. Future is more like a savings account, more like a retirement fund.
Retirement.
There's a lot less risk because it's more long-term, and the assets are always outpacing the liabilities, which is beautiful. Found nowhere else, frankly. So it's
Yeah.
continuously growing from the taxes and from futures. It also grows 100% from all of the money that is used to mint trunk. Now, that is currently really low, since most people are buying from PancakeSwap. But once trunk is back at peg, it's going to really fly, since trunk minting is back in play. That's just going to feed and feed and feed the elephant treasury non-stop for years and years to come.
Absolutely. One of the favorite quotes on Telegram is chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
And it's so true that what we're seeing here is Bank Teller is playing like a grandmaster in chess, where he is seeing multiple moves ahead. So when he makes a move, he also has he also has 3 moves already planned out. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I may be wrong, but that is surely what it looks like. That is how this is playing out. And very different from other developers who some of them see, it seems, hey, I'm sure a lot of them have had the best of intentions. There are some who were not so sure. But the point is that what we've seen is they've set up a situation where by a whole bunch of people can get, hey, let's get excited because these high returns have been promised to us. And futures is at a point where so many of those protocols, you start to see the liquidity drain and it's on its way down. Futures is showing a wonderful, steady growth, and it is having a tremendous effect on the overall ecosystem. It all helps each other. Each piece works synergistically to help the other piece.
It is a complete protocol. It's a complete ecosystem. Everything helps each other out, and by participating in one part of the protocol, it will help out, different parts, and it all links in perfectly. And Bank Teller has done the maths. I 100% trust him on the maths on the 0.5% per day, that it is sustainable for the long term. There's other projects offering 1%, 2%, but once the liabilities catch up, it starts to run out of money. But it's got so many limiters to prevent that from happening.
The
which is
limiters.
a beautiful thing.
Such a good point in thinking out the math.
Yeah,
He didn't try. Yeah, he didn't try to attract us with a high number. That number was actually thought out.
yeah,
There's a big difference in just, hey, whoa, let's promise a high number and people are going to go nuts and throw
mhm,
money at this project. Oh, and by the way, 3% developer fee. I think it's
yeah,
not, I notice it's not mentioned. Bank Charter doesn't take a developer fee,
no,
right? So you can see there his motive isn't, oh, I'm getting paid no matter what
yeah,
happens. No, he's actually enjoying the coding and the winning part of seeing people be successful, and he's not taking money as we go. He's investing in this project himself, so his success also depends on the project being successful.
yeah,
Naturally, another natural organic part of the growth. But my point is that, like you said, he did the math. He came up with the 0.5% based on running out the numbers and building it. Like you said, there are limiters,
yeah,
so people can't. You don't have a whale that can dump on you. And you hold elephant money, you don't worry that a whale can dump on you. The biggest human holder only owns 0.8% of the entire piece. The largest holder won't dump because that is Bertha, who will never dump on us.
yeah,
So we don't have to worry about that. Futures, people can't dump on futures protocol. So it's wonderful.
yeah. It's thought out extremely impressively, and he hasn't just given us false promises like most other projects has done. He's thought out every single piece in detail very carefully in order for this project to stay around for the long term. And it is going to be, a very long term project. It's a long
Yes.
term investment,
Yes.
but it still offers great yields, higher than anywhere else. And it's reliable because of the way everything's thought out.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, futures is beautiful since, it pays out BUSD in, BUSD out. So
Right.
you don't have to worry about, the price of BUSD or anything like that. It's
Mhm.
just straight cash flow.
Yes. It's incredible. It's almost hard for me to believe that we are sitting here talking about this after what I've been through leading up to this. It's like, yeah, this is true. Every day I wake up and look at Telegram and go, oh, okay, I wasn't dreaming.
Yeah.
This is it's real again today. It's still happening, and it has attracted so many great people to this system who enjoy the friendship part as well.
Yeah.
So it's really neat to welcome you in. I avoided Telegram after I was a newbie, and I didn't realize that it's easy for scammers to create a fake Telegram
Yeah.
channel. And I did that and got smoked for some of my
Oh,
elephant. Fortunately, I didn't have like a huge bag at the time, but it was the worst feeling. It
yeah.
was just like, oh, and it was Jed who helped me, just help. He just said some things to me that was very helpful, and there was like, that was the first time of actually having, just having a personal interaction with somebody on in crypto, outside of the couple of friends that I had who got me into it. So that will always mean a lot to me. That personal caring, somebody saying, hey, dude, I'm sorry. And it happens to a lot of us. And then SK Crypto K did the same thing. He said, dude, it happens to all of us, but one thing I'll always remember that he said, you hang in there because the gains will far outweigh the losses. And
That's for sure.
that was a wonderful thing that he said to me, as well. because I'm not, I care about this on a lot of levels. That's just kind of the person I am, I went into counseling, I got a master's degree in counseling because I care about people. I want to be helpful. I got into school counseling. I love that part. I miss being around the kids and the staff and all of that. Got into real estate because I'm a real people oriented person. So to connect with some folks with that heart meant a lot to me. So now I want to give back however I can,
Yeah, for sure. It's great meeting people with the same interest and the same passion that you've got and the same understanding. It's great meeting people from all around the world. I never thought this opportunity was going to, come around. I would have never thought so. But since I started my YouTube channel, I'm here in this podcast speaking with you for an hour, and it's been fantastic getting to know other people and their backgrounds and what they do for a living and how they personally got interested in crypto.
Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful because it's real, it's meaningful, and again, it's something that we're laying a base. I believe we are laying a base for the next number of years to come that could really be life-changing for us, for our future. Yeah, obviously, I have a 13-year-old daughter. I'm going to teach her how to do this. So thanks for your comments, everybody. I love it. Damian Reed, hello CC, how are you? Recently started following you. Want to say I really enjoy your content and the way you come across to the people. It's great to see. Well, I thank you. I really appreciate that. I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and then there was a point where I kind of got lost in terms of what am I going to talk about? Because we hit this bear market and it just became kind of depressing. And I was like, well, I want to teach. Well, maybe I can do some YouTube stuff. But then I started getting more engaged in elephant money, and I was like, right. Now I know what I can get into, I mean, you, Alexander, you just described the protocol so well. So what I can do is do what Greg Schultz does. I'm going to be the hype man. I'm going to help. I'm just going to help elevate y'all, help put you in the forefront, do what I can to talk about elephant money and to let your minds, do the numbers. And I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep learning the numbers, but whatever part I can play, I'm going to do that. So thank you, Damian. I really appreciate that comment. SK, what's up? Good to see ya. Elephant Island, baby. Yep, we're going to head to Elephant Island. That's right. Thank you. Man. So, hey, we're just about hitting an hour on this chat. It has flown by. I wonder, Alexander, do you have any encouraging words, any tips for people who are, there's your pup. I love it. We had a guest cat on the first Herdcast, and now we've got a guest German Shepherd. I love it. Cool, man. Pete, I missed it. I'll go back to watch. Thank you. Appreciate it. Damian.
Yeah, some encouraging words. There's only one thing that I would really recommend to do, and that is to do as much research as you can into this protocol and get to properly understand it, because the facts will speak for itself, and the more you get to understand it, you will get to know the risks. And even with what you were saying in your Telegram, there's a lot of these scam things going around. And thankfully in the Elephant Telegram, we're told what to do, how to keep your privacy safe. And I think because those sort of things happen, there is a real lack of trust in the entire crypto space. But the great thing about Elephant Money is when you really get to understand the protocol, the numbers behind it, how the whole ecosystem works and ties together, you will, realize that this is the only thing without severe risk and the only thing built for the long-term sustainability. So if you do have a long-term horizon, then there is honestly no other better place for your money. And yeah, just keep the positivity going and do your own research, watch as many videos as you can, try to understand how things link together. And the main important part is the Elephant Treasury, which has been non-stop growing, which just only screams health within the project. That's the only thing that ties everything together, and how it pays out all that yield. And as long as the Elephant Treasury is growing, you will keep getting paid out. That is the beauty of it.
That is so well put. I love your choice of words.
Yeah,
I love your choice
of
of words.
Thank you.
That is so good. So well done. Boy, this has been fun. I know you and I have been chatting back and forth a little bit. Looking forward to this. We just immediately became friends as I commented on your videos, and I'm so glad that you were able to jump on this chat. I look forward to more of your videos and our continued friendship. And what we can do to help people along the journey as we continue to grow in Elephant Money. Thanks so much. That was great closing comments.
Thank you ever so much. Yeah, I highly appreciate it. Highly appreciate your invite onto the show, and you have been great. And your positivity, you can see you're an extremely caring man. So I am very appreciative of this opportunity you've given me.
Well, it's the pleasure and the honor is mine. It's like I said, I'm 54. I love when I see young people who are have some discipline and care, and you're already in a state of your life where you're giving and you're helping, and that is going to just create a foundation for you to live a wonderful life, because you're just going to have good people around you.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a success. You already are a success. What am I saying? You already are. So it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. I look forward to the next time we connect. Maybe it'll be on a bigger chat with some other people. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
The elephant herd is running. With that, thank you, audience. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's only up and up from here. We are still literally on the ground floor. So for myself, I'm really thankful that I found out about this project, as I'm so young still. But, it's been an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, with that, we say bye to the audience. Everybody's going to be able to see the replay. Thanks so much, Alexander. You have a wonderful rest of your evening there in the UK. We'll talk to you later. All right.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Plant seeds. Enlarge your territory. Do great things for other people. God bless you, everybody.